What's Fred Durst like? Was it
Oh,
nice hanging out with Fred Durst on the video shoot?
yeah, he's cool as hell.
He was amazing. He was so on too with all like the quote unquote acting that was actually very real. But he was amazing, and he even got like extremely like brutally punished by one of the crew members who made like a really bad Limp Bizkit joke, and also like I don't know if you guys caught that, he like wanted to ask him all these questions, and he was so good natured about it.
Yeah, the guy like turned the camera on, you know, you say rolling. And it devolved from there, you know?
He was like, rolling, and everyone was like, come on. And Fred was like, I wish you were the first person to ever make that joke.
It was an album that took us quite a while to complete and was difficult at times.
Yeah, there were many phases of making the album. I think what we could call finishing and recording the album, which was like a year and a half of the 4 years or whatever that it took, that part was definitely difficult and challenging. But prior to that, there were some really fun moments, and even within the making of it, there were still fun moments.
The record differs in sound from the past couple records by, I think, being a bit more diverse in terms of where the sounds come from or what they reference. And I think it's maybe a bit more meticulous and less of a live band album, even though it has elements of that. It's a bit more collage based, and it's a bit stranger, I think.
Yeah, I think one of the premises of going into making it, we had talked about wanting to like continue the heavier, kind of more exploded sound that we had, but like reference the earlier album intentionally, so it'd feel like all of the albums in one. And in a lot of ways, it does feel like that to me, even though it still feels like a continuation of Deceiver more than a continuation of the first two records.
The title kind of came last. You know, we kind of made all these songs that were these like portraits of like the modern condition or whatever, and trying to like unify them under one, you know, trying to think about like what's the thesis statement or something of the record. And Frog in Boiling Water was just one that was like jammed in my brain, and I was like, how do I sell this idea to the other guys? Or like, what's a different way of saying this idea? And so I like really racked my brain of like other ways to say it, you know, because it just seemed a bit like grotesque or something. But it's a phrase I first found in high school in like a book we read in high school. And it was a metaphor that really stuck with me and feels kind of prescient at this time, you know? So everybody went for it, and now that's the title, Forever.
Yeah, it didn't take that much convincing. I thought it was cool. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It reminded me of like a Sonic Youth album that doesn't exist, because they were so good at taking like even like Daydream Nation or something. Mm-hmm. It's like, come on. Or like but they did it. Yeah, or Batman Rising, but they would just do it, and it's like this like kind of universal, like really immediate idea. And it was such a relief, because I feel like the album is quite serious. Mm-hmm. And it's cool that the title is both serious and really playful. Mm-hmm. I think it's like really fitting, and it keeps it from, you know, being too serious, I guess.
Yeah, the other ways of saying it were like so serious.
Yeah, we
like,
tried
sucks.
Other ones. I remember the conversation because it was like we had like disagreed on a bunch of small things up to that point. So I think we were all nervous about the conversation of like what to call the album, but then immediately it just kind of seemed right.
Mm-hmm. I feel like usually with concept albums, like I think more of, I don't know.
Like there's a plot.
Like there's a plot, or there's like really like specific like
repeating characters,
or repeating musical motifs, and like, and of course there are like repeated ideas, but I don't know, it feels different. Like
It's not one story all the way through the way most concept albums are.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of the opposite where it's very like disjointed. All the characters are like, all the like I or whatever in the song are all like different characters.
I guess it could be like, who wrote As I Lay Dying? It's Faulkner. Yeah, like that, where it is sort of the same story but through the lens of all the different people experiencing it.
Or like Rashomon,
What's that?
the Japanese story of, it's like a murder but through all the different people's
sick.
eyes. That
It's like a trial, but each person has their own idea of what happened.
Yeah, I want to read that.
it's tight.
So yeah, actually more like that then.
What's Fred Durst like? Was it
Oh,
nice hanging out with Fred Durst on the video shoot?
Yeah, he's cool as hell.
Yeah, it was awesome.
He individually said goodbye to every single person on the crew, like the camera people, the sound mixers, kind of like something I guess a celebrity would do, but I don't know. It really shocked me.
He was amazing. He was so on too with all like the quote unquote acting that was actually very real. But he was amazing. And he even got like extremely like brutally punished by one of the crew members who made like a really bad Limp Bizkit joke, and also like, I don't know if you guys caught that, he like wanted to ask him all these questions and he was so good natured about it.
Yeah, the guy like turned the camera on, you say rolling. And
forgot about
it
that.
devolved from there,
He was like, rolling, and everyone was like, come on. And Fred was like, I wish you were the first person to ever make that joke.